What's going on, guys? I am Double Pulse, and today I have another hand video today where my hands demonstrate various tech products, and today we're looking at the PSP Go, or more specifically the PlayStation Portable, because this thing at the time of release was a revolutionary product, and same with the regular PSP. Just because at the time smartphones weren't a huge thing and Sony was just entering the handheld space with PSP, and this is the little brother of it in the sense that this is a digital only console. This was Sony's first digital handheld. Now, the reason I'm doing this video is actually because my dad had reached out and said, "Son, I want you to buy me a PSP Go." And I'm thinking, why would I want to buy you one if you got a PS Vita right here? I mean, if you look at the size of this thing, the PS Vita is slightly bigger. You've got larger hands, and I just don't see this working. And he's like, "Novelty, son. I miss it." So I was like, okay, I get it. This will be actually a pretty cool video to demonstrate the product. So I said, fuck it. And I decided to buy it. So this system right here has some interesting features that I wanted to kind of point out. First off, you notice the clock lock screen. I don't know if the regular PSP has this. However, this has a proprietary charging device, charging cable that also serves as TV out, as well as I think the PSP had a separate cable that did it. But this one is all done by like one particular little plug right here. So you can do TV out, play this on your big TV with the PS3 controller. Yeah, suck it, Nintendo Switch. This did it first. This thing also has the fact of no UMD slot, like I mentioned. You're not going to be able to put a PSP UMD disc in this unless you want to carve it open, but then you just break it. It has a little brightness meter over here. It's got the music. It's got your headphone jack right here. The M2 memory card slot, I will just say this. Sony would have always been a little bit of a bitch when it comes to proprietary memory cards. You thought that the PS Vita was just as bad? Well, PSP did the same exact thing, because this takes a M2 memory card, which was specifically designed for the PSP Go, and the regular PSP uses Memory Stick Duo. So you are not sticking your Memory Stick Duo in here. It just simply wouldn't work. Now, it's got the wireless functionality, which I will explain here. I have not been able to connect this with Wi-Fi. And you obviously have your power button right here. So, Bluetooth, wireless capabilities, digital features. This thing was way ahead of its time, and Sony really knocked it out of the park. So as we get into the controls here, the controls do not feel bad. I mean, the analog stick is it's a little bit of a nub. The D-pad feels great, and the buttons have that kind of clicking feeling to it. But really, you get pretty comfortable using the system pretty quickly, despite how small it actually is in your hands. Now, if you do have larger hands, I'm going to say that playing games on this, you might have to scrunch up your hands a little bit, but that's where that Bluetooth capability comes in. But let's be real, if you're playing a handheld, you're not going to probably be using the Bluetooth controller. You're going to want to slide this down, put it in your pocket, maybe hook it up to the little loop here, and it's really just the ergonomics of the system, despite of its size, it works. It works. There might be a little bit of this, you know, cramped feeling, but it's not something you couldn't get used to. I guess the real concern is how your eyesight would be for some of the games, because sometimes the games on this screen get very hard to read the text. So, to sum it up, before I get into the gameplay, I do not have this connected to the internet. I have no idea how I connect this thing to the internet, because my Wi-Fi just does not accept the connection on here. But back then, you'd want to obviously download games from the PlayStation Store. But in this case, we got this thing modded. We got this thing homebrewed. We got all the stuff we need to try a couple of games out. So let's get right into it.
Teresa, we've got a problem. Warning systems on.
Check the column. Do you see a flame jet?
Negative. No flame jet.
That means they've closed the release valve. Pressure in the column will be critical soon. You have to get that valve open, Gabe.
Right. Breach at the south gate! Get some men out here! Sniper. Have to take him out before he calls in reinforcements. He's out there! Copy that. On my way. He's near the south gate! Get out there!
The only downside to playing some games like this, like Syphon Filter here, is using the buttons like this to aim and not having that second analog stick. But outside of that, games like this were never really a huge issue in terms of like auto aiming. That kind of thing would also make it a little bit more easier to navigate.
He's headed toward the distillation column! Roger, heading out now!
will need to think of some other way to sneak up on this enemy undetected. Perhaps there, it worked. See that shadowy black mist you created? Hide within it, and the enemy will never know you were here. Always know where the shadows are, and let them take you where you need to go. And don't forget, in situations like this, you can always put out the lights. This wall is standing between you and your destination, but you cannot climb it by ordinary means. Good.
An intruder. I know you're out there. Oh, but I knew it! What's going on?
So, if I had to give my final concluding thoughts on the PSP Go and if you should really buy one in 2022, it all depends. If you love the idea of this system and you want something quick and portable and small, I'd say go for it. Problem is, a lot of these systems are very expensive in price when you try buying them from a secondhand market, such as eBay or Mercari. You're looking to pay about $100 to $150, probably a little bit more. I think I overpaid on this one, and it was close to be about $180. So I really probably wouldn't recommend it. Now, the reason I don't recommend it is you legit could get a PS Vita for about the same price and play all of those type of games on there plus more. The only reason you want to get something like this is if you're a collector and you really love the novelty of these systems. I mean, there's so many systems out there these days that have the capabilities of, being homebrewed, modded, playing different types of titles on them. There are certain caveats and just certain things I guess people love about playing games on the original hardware. But I mean, to be honest, it's up to you. This system definitely still holds weight for what you can do with it in 2022 if you had plans on, putting a modified operating system on here. Just because, other than that, I don't know if I'd recommend it, mainly just because if you have issues with Wi-Fi, it's just kind of outdated, the store doesn't work. But yeah, this is a PSP Go. I'm pretty much ending the video here. If you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I will talk to you guys soon. Goodbye.